All right, so one inspector made a surprise visit today on Christmas Eve, probably figuring people wouldn't be prepared. And I got in trouble for these wood scraps, which I'm literally in the process of picking up, but didn't matter. She pulled in and they're on the ground, so that was a write-up. And then right here, where I did the concrete footing, this little like rinsed out concrete powder is a write-up too. So I gotta just clean this up, which is not really even concrete, it's like just a slight dust of it. I gotta clean that up. Then she said specifically for this thing it needs to be covered, can't be left exposed. So that wood, that thing, and then like those straps, this little plastic, that was a write-up too, which doesn't mean a fine, but it just means like she's gonna have to do a follow-up, make sure I took care of everything. The good news was all this, she's very happy about this for erosion control. And so that was, I guess, a little negative. Now the other thing, I'll walk in here. So the other thing was on the plans, I'm gonna show you right here. All right, so here was the, yeah, there's more narrow ones. Here's the area of problem here. So this whole wall right here specifies a certain shear, and the way it was called out, it has to be to the higher standard. And so when he came to look, he was looking at what the shear was. I think it's a couple more pages in. All right, so same plan, just different page. So right here, it lists the shear schedule, which is a 3. And on this table, it has all the details. And you'll notice it goes 2 and then 4. So there's no 3. So it was just a little bit of a mistake. I just don't know if that 3 is supposed to be a 2 or a 4. So the problem is if it's supposed, so he can't pass it because he don't know what the 3 spec is, or if it's supposed to be a 2 or a 4. So that was a fail. If it's a 2, it talks about structural sheathing, which is the plywood, directly the framing with size 8 nails, good, at 6 inches on center at the edges and 12 in the middle. Well, that's what we did. But the thing is, we don't know if it's supposed to be a 2. If it's supposed to be a 2, we're good. If it's supposed to be a 4, we're not good because it says 4 inches on center at the edges. And so if it's going to be 4 inches on center, it needs more nails. Or if it was supposed to be a 5, it would need 2 inches on centers, which is way too many nails for a 2x6. So we'd have to go with a 3x6, a wider wood, to take all those nails. Then the other part is for the anchor bolts. So they're all 5/8, that's good. If it's a 2, they're 48 on center. But if it's a 4, they're 36 on center. So what he looked at over here, so this is the shear wall of concern. What he looked at was how spaced out these hold down bolts are. So this anchor bolt. What I didn't know is this HD doesn't count. So I need to be, if they're going to be 36 on center, I need to have another hold down right near that one. I can probably do one right here. That's not really a big thing. Drill, put in the stud, epoxy it in, no problem. This one here was, let's just see, hard to work with one hand. I believe I put these on 36. I did. So on 36, cool, but this one would need another hold down bolt right there. Not that big of a problem, but I will need to more than likely add it. So I did these on 36. To be honest, not understanding where they needed to be. I just figured 36-inch hold downs all around, 36 inches everywhere. And so I have to figure that out. Oh, and the other thing, when he talks about the nails on center, he comes over here, right? He came with this tape measure, and he was measuring the distance nail to nail. So as you see, we're roughly about 6 inches each nail. So if we're to that number 2 standard, no problem. Just one hold down bolt. If we're to the higher standard of number 4, it means I need to add more hold down bolts, and I can't just add more nails because that small, like, I'll show you the different sizes. If I added more nails to a board this wide, which is a 2x6, it won't take all those nails. So I'd have to swap the 2x6 out to one of these bigger, like a 3x6 right here, and that would take the additional nails. So that's not really a craftsmanship issue as much as a detail in the plan that needs to be clarified. And if it is clarified as a number 2, I just need to put in one hold down bolt. And if it's clarified to be held to a number 4, that's a bit of a problem. Also because a number 4 calls for a 4-inch, a 3-inch sill plate, and I've only got a 2-inch sill plate, and so that's going to be a little bit tricky. So had to talk with the architect. Architect's got to talk with the engineer. They got to figure out what's really needed, and then once I find out what's really needed, it's either a couple minutes, you know, I'd say a couple minutes, but like 20 minutes to drill into the concrete and put in one of these big studs and a plate and a nut with epoxy, which I'm actually out of, or it's like a couple days work to redo that. And so otherwise stuff went well. So one inspection, the shear panel inspection was a fail, and the roof deck inspection up there was a pass. So that's the really important one, because we're supposed to get rain in 3 days. So that gives me enough time to get the whole roof covered in tar paper. So that was really scheduled inspections. The other one, the write-up for the little concrete and the scraps, she can show up anytime during normal business hours, 7 days a week, and inspect a site anytime. And I kind of suspect the reason that she came was it's Christmas Eve. She's probably figuring, you know, people aren't going to be working, and that's her most likely chance to catch somebody with a mess. And so that was not scheduled. That was a surprise visit. If she came 2 hours from now, this place is going to look perfect. But as of right now, no, it was a fail. So fixing that stuff and gonna update.